Admiral Kiridex of the Valorian Imperium sat rigid in his command chair as the holographic display updated with fresh intelligence. His four eyes narrowed at the three-dimensional representation of the small blue planet that had somehow managed to destroy one of his battle cruisers. It was inconceivable. "Analysis confirmed, Admiral," reported Commander Velix, her scaled skin shimmering under the bridge lights. "The vessel designated Terran Defense Force 117 used primitive fusion-based weaponry, but deployed it with unexpected tactical sophistication." Kiridex's secondary heart pulsed with irritation. The Valorian Imperium had conquered 17 star systems in the past century. Their quantum drive technology and photon artillery batteries were unmatched in the known galaxy. Yet this backwater world, Earth as the natives called it, had just terminated a ship carrying 10,000 of his finest warriors. "Display the demographics of the human military force," Kiridex ordered. The holographic display shifted to show a surprisingly small number. According to their intelligence, the humans had dedicated less than 1% of their global population to military service. Most astonishing was that these armed forces were divided among nearly 200 sovereign entities rather than united under a single command. "This makes no strategic sense," Kiridex muttered. "How can a fragmented species with such limited military investment challenge us?" Fleet Commander Irazal approached the Admiral's chair, her ceremonial armor clicking with each step. "Perhaps we underestimated them, sir. Preliminary anthropological data suggests humans evolved as persistence predators, pursuing prey until exhaustion. They may have developed unusual endurance and determination." "Irrelevant," Kiridex said dismissively. "Inform the Emperor that we've encountered minor resistance. Deploy the 3rd and 7th battle fleets to Earth orbit. We will demonstrate the true might of the Imperium." As orders were transmitted across the vast network of Valorian warships, Lieutenant Morrivan, their xenopsychologist, approached with evident hesitation. "Admiral, if I may, our standard intimidation tactics might backfire with these humans," she said. "They appear to become more unified when threatened. Their historical archives show them overcoming superior forces through adaptation and unconventional tactics." Kiridex's membrane shields flickered with amusement. "Your concern is noted, Lieutenant, but unnecessary. 2,000 warships against their primitive vessels will end only one way." On Earth, Major Renata Blackwood stared at the massive alien, a vessel that had appeared over Chicago 2 days ago. 3 billion dead in the first wave of attacks, cities reduced to rubble. And now intelligence indicated that what they had first assumed was the invasion force was merely a scouting party. "More ships approaching, Major," reported Lieutenant Dax Nakamura, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls of their last functioning satellite relay. "Lots more." Blackwood's gaze hardened. The old national divisions had dissolved overnight when the first alien ships appeared. Now, what remained of Earth's military forces operated under a hastily formed United Earth Defense Command. "Send word to Admiral Okafor," she said. "Project Prometheus is their only chance now." "We need to buy them time." Nakamura's face paled. "You're talking about Operation Firewall. That's a suicide mission." "I know," Blackwood replied, her voice steady despite the weight of her next words. "But if those alien bastards think what they've seen so far represents our full strength, they're about to get a rude awakening." As the Valorian fleet prepared to deliver their knockout blow, they remained unaware that humanity had not yet revealed its most formidable weapons, or its most indomitable spirit. The space around Earth bloomed with the arrival of the Valorian Armada. 2,000 warships materialized in precise formation, their hulls gleaming with an iridescent metallic sheen that reflected the sun in blinding flashes. Each vessel was a masterpiece of engineering, bristling with weapons capable of reducing Continents to ash, Emperor Zorvash himself had joined the campaign, his planet-sized command ship dwarfing all others in the fleet. He stood on the observation deck, secondary arms folded behind his back, as he gazed at the blue planet. A primitive world, he noted to Grand Strategist Pholox. Yet they destroyed the Indomitable. Pholox's photoreceptors adjusted as he studied the tactical display. An anomaly, Your Eminence. Their technology is centuries behind ours. They have no unified government, no cohesive military strategy. Then we shall make an example of them, Zorvash decided. Begin the bombardment. Target their major population centers first. In the command center beneath the ruins of Geneva, Admiral Naya Okafor reviewed the tactical display with grim determination. Around her, what remained of Earth's unified command staff worked frantically to coordinate their limited resources. Operation Firewall is in position, reported General Vikram Singh. Blackwood's team has secured the orbital platforms. Okafor nodded, her eyes never leaving the display. And Project Prometheus? Dr. Matsuo reports it's operational, but untested, Singh replied. The theoretical models suggest it will work, but we're beyond theoretical models now, General, Okafor interrupted. We either make this work, or humanity becomes another extinct species. In orbit, Major Blackwood and her multinational team of volunteers had successfully boarded the abandoned International Space Station. Repurposed and retrofitted in the frantic weeks since first contact, the station now housed experimental technology that had previously been deemed too dangerous to deploy. Quantum resonance fields active, reported Lieutenant Commander Farida Al-Zarani, her hands steady despite the sweat beading on her brow. Disruptors charging. Blackwood nodded. Remember, people, we only get one shot at this. Make it count. The Valorian fleet began its advance, weapons systems powering up as they approached optimal firing range. On the flagship, Admiral Kiridex watched with satisfaction as targeting solutions locked onto Earth's remaining military installations. Commence firing, he ordered. The first volley launched from the Valorian fleet, streams of superheated plasma that carved through Earth's atmosphere like knives through silk. But before they could reach their targets, something unexpected happened. Around Earth, seemingly dormant satellites suddenly activated, dozens, then hundreds of them, forming a web of energy that intercepted the Valorian weapons. What is this? Kiridex demanded, as the tactical display showed their attack dissipating harmlessly against the protective shield. Commander Velix frantically analyzed the data. It appears to be some form of quantum disruption field, Admiral. They're using our own weapons' energy against us. Before Kiridex could respond, the humans launched their counterattack. Not with missiles or kinetic weapons, but with something far more insidious. Microscopic drones, billions of them, deployed from Earth's orbit targeting the Valorian ship's navigation systems. Our systems are being compromised, reported the communications officer, panic evident in his voice. Unknown technology is infiltrating our networks. As the Valorian fleet struggled to maintain control, Major Blackwood and her team activated Phase 2 of Operation Firewall. We've got them confused, she said, watching as the alien ships began to drift out of formation. Now let's show them what happens when you attack Earth. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Takashi Matsuo initiated Project Prometheus, humanity's greatest gamble. The groundbreaking gravitational weapon had never been tested at full power, but there was no time for caution. Activating Prometheus, he announced to Admiral Okafor. May whatever gods exist forgive us. The ocean floor trembled as Project Prometheus roared to life. Massive underwater installations around the Pacific Rim synchronized their output, creating a gravitational anomaly that rippled outward into space. Invisible but devastating, the wave struck the Valorian fleet with surgical precision. Admiral Kiridex clutched his command console as his flagship lurched violently. Around him, control systems flickered and died while crew members were thrown from their stations. "What is happening?" he demanded, all four eyes widening in alarm. "Gravitational distortion," Commander Velix managed to report before being slammed against a bulkhead. "They're manipulating space-time." Across the fleet, Valorian ships experienced catastrophic systems failures as the gravity wave passed through them. Engines imploded, hull integrity compromised, and navigation systems sent, vessels careening into one another. Nearly 300 ships were destroyed in the first assault, with hundreds more crippled beyond recovery. Emperor Zorvash watched in disbelief as his magnificent armada disintegrated before his eyes. "Impossible," he whispered. "This cannot be happening." On Earth, Admiral Okafor monitored the results with grim satisfaction. "Prometheus is working better than expected," she noted. "But we can't maintain this output for long." Dr. Matsuo's holographic projection nodded gravely. "The gravitational stress is destabilizing the tectonic plates. We have perhaps 20 minutes before we cause irreparable damage to our own planet." "Then we make those 20 minutes count," Okafor decided. "General Singh, deploy the Artemis Protocol." In orbit, Major Blackwood received the order and smiled thinly. "About time," she muttered, then addressed her team. "Artemis is a go. Upload the virus." Lieutenant Commander Al-Zarani's fingers flew across the control panel. "Uploading now. Their defense systems are compromised from the gravitational assault. This should be like walking through an open door." The Artemis Protocol was perhaps humanity's most elegant weapon, a computer virus designed specifically to target the quantum processors that powered Valorian technology. Developed by a coalition of the world's most brilliant programmers, it infiltrated the alien systems like a digital phantom. On the Valorian command ship, Grand Strategist Pholox watched in horror as their technology turned against them. Weapons, systems targeted their own ships, life support systems shut down, communication networks broadcast human messages. "We've been infiltrated at the deepest level," he reported to Emperor Zorvash. "They're using our own technology against us." Zorvash's facial membranes pulsed with fury. "How can this be? They are primitives." "Apparently not as primitive as we thought," Pholox replied grimly. As the Valorian fleet descended into chaos, a different kind of battle was being fought on Earth. Dr. Ilara Dominguez, leading what remained of the global scientific community, worked frantically to decode the alien communication protocols intercepted during the battle. "We need to establish direct contact," she explained to Admiral Okafor. "If we can communicate, we might avoid complete destruction, theirs or ours." Okafor frowned. "You think they'll negotiate after what we've done to their fleet?" "I think they'll recognize strength," Dominguez replied, "and respect it." In the vacuum of space, Major Blackwood watched as the massive Valorian command ship struggled to maintain position. Its weapons were disabled, its engines sputtering, but it remained largely intact. "They're resilient," she commented to Nakamura. "I'll give them that." "Should we finish them off?" he asked. Blackwood's communication device chimed with an incoming message from Admiral Okafor. She listened, then shook her head. "New orders. We're going to try talking to them." As the gravitational assault tapered off to prevent terrestrial damage, and the Artemis virus maintained its hold on the alien systems, humanity prepared to speak to its would-be conquerors from a position of unexpected strength. No one realized that this first decisive engagement had only scratched the surface of what both sides were truly capable of. Admiral Kiridex stared at the human face displayed on his command center's view screen with barely contained rage. The translator implants were working, but he still found it difficult to believe what he was hearing. "We are prepared to cease hostilities," said Admiral Okafor, her expression revealing nothing of the desperate gamble she was taking. But understand, this, what you've witnessed, represents only a fraction of Earth's defensive capabilities. Emperor Zorvash stepped into view, his imposing figure dwarfing Kyrodek's. Your species has earned the right to speak human. But do not mistake tactical success for strategic victory. The Imperium spans countless worlds. And yet your fleet is in ruins, Okafor countered calmly. We've analyzed your technology. Given time, we can dismantle your entire empire. A dangerous bluff, but one delivered with such conviction that the Valorian leaders exchanged uneasy glances. Behind the scenes of this tense exchange, Dr. Ilara Dominguez and her team worked frantically to extract as much information as possible from the compromised Valorian systems. What they discovered was troubling. The Valorians aren't the only advanced species in this sector, she reported to General Singh. According to their records, they're locked in a three-way power struggle with entities called the Nexus Collective and the Mare Dominion. Singh's eyes narrowed. So they're not as all-powerful as they claim. Far from it, Dominguez confirmed. They've been searching for new technologies to gain advantage. That's why they targeted Earth. Our planet has unique resources they call dimensional resonance materials. This intelligence reached Admiral Okafor just as Emperor Zorvash made his counter-proposal. Your species has impressed us, the Emperor admitted grudgingly. We offer you a position within the Imperium. Serve as our military arm, and you will be rewarded with technology beyond your imagination. Okafor's expression remained impassive, but her mind raced. The proposal revealed volumes about Valorian psychology. They respected strength and sought to co-opt it rather than destroy it outright. A potential weakness to exploit. We decline, she said firmly. Earth remains sovereign, but we propose an alliance of equals. Your technology combined with our unique approach to warfare. In the orbital station, Major Blackwood monitored the diplomatic exchange while maintaining control over the Artemis virus. The Valorians didn't know that humanity couldn't sustain another gravitational attack without catastrophic consequences, or that the virus was already being countered by Valorian security systems. They're stalling, Nakamura observed. Their secondary systems are attempting to purge our virus, Blackwood nodded. And we're stalling too. How's Project Lazarus coming along? Dr. Cato reports it's ready for deployment, Al-Zarani replied, just waiting for the command. Project Lazarus was humanity's final card, a theoretical technology that could instantly disable any spacecraft within the solar system by temporarily altering the fundamental constants of physics within a localized field. If it worked, it would render all technology useless. If it failed or worked too well, it could unravel the fabric of space-time itself. On the Valorian command ship, Grand Strategist Pholox reviewed the steadily deteriorating situation with growing alarm. The humans were negotiating from a position of strength they shouldn't possess, and their demands were expanding. They know about the Nexus Collective, he whispered to Emperor Zorvash. Somehow they've extracted strategic intelligence from our secured databases. The Emperor's secondary heart rate increased dramatically. Then we cannot allow them to survive. If they share this intelligence with our enemies, we may not have a choice, Pholox interrupted, a serious breach of protocol that indicated his desperation. Our long-range sensors have detected anomalous readings near the system's edge. The Nexus may already be here. As if confirming his worst fears, a new signal interrupted the diplomatic channel. A voice, neither human nor Valorian, spoke with mechanical precision. Attention, organic entities. This is the Nexus Collective. We have observed your conflict with interest. Your technologies are now classified as acquisition priorities. Prepare for assimilation. In that moment, the dynamic of the conflict changed entirely. Humans and Valorians faced a common threat, one that viewed them both as resources to be harvested, rather than adversaries to be respected. The Nexus Collective's ships emerged from hyperspace in perfect geometric formation, black crystalline, structures that absorbed rather than reflected light. They moved with unnatural precision, their movements synchronized to the millisecond as they positioned themselves between Earth and Mars. Cybernetic entity, highly advanced, Emperor Zorvash explained grimly to Admiral Okafor as they maintained their now joint communications channel. They assimilate biological species and extract their knowledge. On Earth's surface, citizens watched in horror as yet another alien fleet appeared in their skies. But in command centers and scientific facilities, a different emotion prevailed: determination. "The Nexus vessels are scanning both our ships and theirs," reported General Singh. "They appear to be analyzing our battle tactics." Admiral Okafor nodded thoughtfully. "Which gives us an opportunity. Dr. Dominguez, how quickly can we integrate our systems with Valorian technology?" "With their cooperation," Dominguez replied. "Hours, not days. The decision to ally with the Valorians wasn't made lightly. Emergency councils convened around the world, with military and civilian leaders weighing the relative threats. The consensus was unanimous. The Nexus Collective represented an existential threat to all biological life. In orbit, Major Blackwood received new orders. "We're partnering with the Valorians," she informed her team, her expression a mixture of disbelief and pragmatism. "Redirect the Artemis virus to target Nexus systems instead." Lieutenant Commander Al-Zarani looked skeptical. "Can we trust them? Not to turn on us the moment the Nexus is dealt with?" "Trust isn't required," Blackwood replied. "Just mutual self-interest." Aboard the Valorian command ship, Admiral Kiridex supervised the integration of human tactical officers into their command structure with evident discomfort. These creatures had destroyed nearly half his fleet, and now they walked freely among his crew. "Your species adapts quickly," he observed to Major Blackwood, who had transferred to coordinate joint operations. "Necessity," she replied simply. "We've spent our entire history fighting each other. Turns out those skills transfer well to fighting aliens." The Nexus Collective made its first move precisely 6 hours after arrival. Rather than conventional weapons, they deployed information warfare, sophisticated computer viruses, and targeted electromagnetic pulses designed to disable rather than destroy. "They want our technology intact," Dr. Matsuo explained during the crisis briefing, "and us as processing nodes in their collective consciousness." But the hastily formed human Valorian alliance had anticipated this approach. The Artemis virus, reconfigured with Valorian quantum computing principles, launched a counterattack against the Nexus systems. Simultaneously, Project Lazarus activated, creating a localized distortion field that disrupted the Nexus ship's perfect formation. The battle that followed defied conventional military doctrine. Human strategies, unpredictable, sometimes illogical but brilliantly adaptive, combined with Valorian technological precision to keep the Nexus forces at bay. But the cybernetic entity learned with each engagement, adapting its approach with cold machine efficiency. "We're holding our own," General Singh reported, "but they're getting stronger. Each attack is more sophisticated than the last." Emperor Zorvash, watching the tactical display with growing concern, turned to Admiral Okafor. "There is another option," he said slowly, "one I would not normally share with any species." "We're listening," Okafor replied. "The third empire in our sector, the Mir Dominion, possesses technology specifically designed to combat the Nexus. They are our enemies, but they fear the collective more than they hate us." Okafor's eyes narrowed. "You're suggesting we bring a third alien power to Earth after what happened with you and the Nexus?" "I am suggesting," Zorvash replied gravely, "that without the Mayor's assistance, none of us will survive." As the Nexus ships pressed their advantage, breaking through the combined defensive lines, the human-Valorian alliance faced a critical decision: risk annihilation, or gamble on yet another alien power entering the fray. The communication channel to the Mare Dominion opened with a burst of multispectral light. The being that appeared, humanoid in general shape, but with skin like flowing mercury and eyes like binary stars, regarded the unlikely alliance with evident amusement. The mighty Valorians, reduced to begging alongside primitive carnivores, it said, its voice resonating with harmonics that stirred emotions in all who heard it. How the cosmos delights in irony. Supreme Architect Xylith, Emperor Zorvash acknowledged with rigid formality. The Nexus Collective threatens all biological life in this sector. Our differences must be set aside. Admiral Okafor stepped forward. Earth offers its unique resources and tactical knowledge in exchange for your assistance against the Nexus. We've already demonstrated our capabilities against the Valorian fleet. The Mare leader's liquid metal features rippled with interest. Yes, we observed that engagement. Quite impressive for such a young species. Its gaze shifted to the tactical display showing the advancing Nexus ships. Very well. The Dominion will intervene on one condition. Name it, Okafor replied. When this is finished, we will conduct an evaluation of your species' potential. If you are found worthy, you will join the Galactic Concord as equals. If not, the Mare let the implication hang in the silent air. With the Nexus forces penetrating deeper into the solar system, there was little choice. The Alliance accepted the terms, and the Mare fleet arrived within hours, ships that seemed to phase between solid matter and pure energy, wielding weapons that targeted the Nexus's unique technological vulnerabilities. The battle that followed would later be recorded in both human and alien histories as the Nexus incursion. For 3 days, the combined forces fought against the relentless cybernetic collective. Human unpredictability, Valorian precision, and Mare-dimensional technology formed a synergy that gradually pushed back the invaders. In the final confrontation, Major Blackwood led a desperate mission to the Nexus command node. Her team, a mixture of human special forces and Valorian elite warriors, fought through layers of automated defenses to reach the central processing core. This is our one chance, she told them as they prepared to deploy the combined Artemis Mare. E-Virus, make it count. The cyber attack, when it launched, was unlike anything any species had attempted before. It didn't just disable the Nexus systems, it rewrote their fundamental programming, introducing concepts like individualism and choice into their collective consciousness. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The Nexus ships stopped in mid-attack, their perfect coordination dissolving as individual units began acting independently for the first time in their existence. Some continued fighting, others retreated, and still others simply powered down. Their weapons! It's working, Nakamura exclaimed as they watched from their position. They're breaking apart. In the aftermath, as the 3 biological species assessed the damage and secured the remaining Nexus vessels, Supreme Architect Xylith conducted the promised evaluation of humanity. The Mare's methods were incomprehensible, seemingly metaphysical. Tests that measured potential rather than current capabilities. When it was complete, the Supreme Architect addressed the assembled leaders of Earth and the Valorian Imperium. We have misunderstood this species, it announced. What we perceived as primitive technology masked something far more valuable, cognitive diversity and adaptability beyond any we have encountered. Emperor Zorvash's membranes pulsed with surprise. You mean to say they qualify for the Concord? After less than a century of space travel, more than qualify, Xylith replied. They will transform it. The liquid metal being turned to Admiral Okafor. What you demonstrated against the Valorians, and then against the Nexus, that was merely an improvised defense with limited resources and preparation. Okafor nodded solemnly. We had barely begun to access our potential. If we had been given time to fully mobilize. Then the galaxy would truly tremble, Xylith completed the thought, which is why the Concord needs you. Not as subjects or servants, but as equals who bring new perspectives. In the years that followed, Earth became a nexus of interstellar diplomacy and innovation. The technologies gained from their alien allies accelerated human development exponentially, while human creativity and adaptability influenced alien cultures. In unexpected ways, Admiral Kiridex, now the Valorian ambassador to Earth, often reflected on that first disastrous encounter. His species had arrived expecting an easy conquest, and instead found themselves nearly destroyed by what they had dismissed as primitives. The lesson was clear, and one he shared with every new Valorian diplomat. Never mistake technological advancement for superiority. Humanity's greatest weapon was never their gravity manipulation or computer viruses, he would explain. It was their refusal to accept defeat, their ability to transform weakness into strength. And throughout the galaxy, a new saying spread. Among spacefaring civilizations, when confronted with human innovation or determination, remember Earth. What you see is never their full force.